Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, it's working now. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you all doing tonight? This is the first time using StreamYard, so I'm having a little issue with it, but I think I'm good now. Welcome, Aeon. Welcome, Sister Fifi. Welcome, Mama Ray Ray. Welcome, Jill. Welcome, the Essence of Sonia. Welcome, Jay's World. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Bookbang and Things, and congratulations to you. Welcome, Bambi. You all let me get on this StreamYard tonight. So, as you can see from the topic, what is your thoughts on gender roles? This is like a piggyback of what we had on Joe Colla's live last night, but we didn't went into full depth. So welcome, everyone. If you're just coming in, please thumbs up the live for me if you're enjoying it so far. And I want to say I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. If everyone hear me, just give me a thumbs up so I know that you're hearing me because I'm new to this. I'm new to the StreamYard. Hey Zion, welcome. Welcome, Shen. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, Bookbang and Things, for the raid. Show your face, Aeon. Show your face. Welcome, Ash. Ash said this is our kind of topic. Okay, Ramsey Clan for life. Welcome, welcome. Someone got to tell me how to drop the link, and you can come up, Ash, because I want to have a conversation with you all. Maybe you can take the lead role in this conversation. But I appreciate y'all for being here. Hey, Lady K, welcome. Welcome, Miss Sugar. Miss Sugar is back with another mukbang. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, I'm still new to this StreamYard, so I don't know. Bambi, Bambi. Hey, Ray Quisha. Welcome. Aeon, stop it. Where it says share. All right, let's see. Whew. Zion, you know I'm a little crazy. Let's see. I don't see it. I see mute. I see stop cam, mic, share screen, invite. Is it the invite? Hey, Vicky's World, welcome. Okay. All right, copy. Oh. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. All right, you all gonna have to walk me through it. Who knows how to do it? So anyone want to come up can come up. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Darlene Brown. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Zion or somebody in the chat. So the topic tonight is what's your thoughts on gender roles? So for example, people said, all right, this is a woman's job, this is a man's job. That's what we're talking about, Lady K. What's your opinion on gender roles? She said biscuit. Okay, thank you, Sister Fifi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the topic is what's your opinion on gender roles? It's very broad, but quite often you'll hear people say this is a man's job or this is a woman's job. I feel like if you have the strength to do something, there shouldn't be any gender roles as it relates to like this is a man's job, this is a woman's job. I feel like men and women should be able to choose whatever job they want to have based on their strengths or based on their weaknesses. So yeah, I feel like that's just bias if you decide to talk about gender roles. So what's you guys thought on gender roles? What's it? Anyone coming up with me? Zion, you coming up? Jill, you coming up? Ash, you coming up? Hey, Lady Ann, welcome, welcome. How are you doing this evening? Welcome everyone to the stream. The topic is what's your thoughts on gender roles? So, all right, Ash is here. Is what's your Hey, Ash.
Hey, Adrian. Hey, y'all.
All right, so we have Ash here with me. So, Ash, what's your thought on gender roles?
My opinion on gender roles is like I know that society has it set like, oh, a man's supposed to do this, woman's supposed to do that. But the way I feel is in today's world, if a woman can work a full-time job, if a woman can go to college and get a degree, if a woman can change tires, do an oil change, wash their own car, then I just feel like a man shouldn't be opposed to cleaning up. A man shouldn't be opposed to washing dishes and things like that. Because when I think of gender roles, I think of a man feeling like the woman has to stay home and pretty much take care of the kids and clean. Yeah. My opinion is I wouldn't mind staying home, taking care of the kids, cleaning, and just being a housewife, but you got to have that bread. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be getting $40 every 2 weeks, and you think I'm gonna just be sitting home doing this, baby. You need that bread. If not, I can go out and make it myself and grind, get myself a degree. You know what I'm saying? Because women are just as strong as men. And I feel the stigma of gender roles and what a woman's place is and what a man's place is way before our time, way before women were allowed to do those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's my view on it. What do you think, Adrian?
I feel the same way because quite often you'll hear people say, being a truck driver is a man's job. Taking care of the kids at home is a woman's job. Quite often you hear these things, but sometimes, as Shen said last night on Joe's live, she said, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, so we have to try to balance out each other based on those things. So that's my opinion. I feel like if the man is stronger in this or the woman is stronger in that, then yes, they should assume that role. It's not about this is a man's job, this is a woman's job. It's about building a team that we're going to be able to work so close together that we can accomplish whatever we set our goals out to be. So I don't believe in gender roles. It's just crazy that society have set us up to have that thought of process. And it's like quite often you see, especially a lot of men now, they're raising their kids they're saying they have to be macho. I'm not saying macho or being feminine or anything like that is a bad thing. What I'm saying is that you should let people be comfortable within their own strengths and weaknesses. It shouldn't be like, all right, you have to be this, you have to speak like this, you have to walk like this, you have to talk like this, you have to do this way. I feel like it's very important for people to be who they are and just work on their strengths. And we all have weaknesses, so we all constantly have to try and improve ourselves.
Right.
Shane, come on up. I know you don't feel well. If you're up to it, I would love to hear you.
And I also wanted to say, like, as far as truck drivers, it's funny that you mentioned that because my mom is 5'3", 130 pounds, soaking wet, and she drives trucks. And before that, my mom was a casino dealer. She was a single mom. She raised me and my sister. And there was pretty much nothing that she couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So when people say it's a woman's place to do X, Y, Z, it, you know, it's things that will surprise you about a woman. I would just say that.
Absolutely.
You know, and even men, I've seen grown men who are raising their kids, raising daughters, putting ponytails and stuff in their hair, picking out dresses, taking them to prom. So, I mean, I feel like gender roles is something put on us to kind of keep us in a box where society always wants us to be. I most definitely feel that it's not something that is set in stone. Like if you have that kind of agreement in your house, like, okay, you're going to stay home and take care of the kids and do X, Y, Z, and I'm going to work, that's fine. But it still is no staple to it, because I feel like if I stay at home, I take care of the kids on a daily basis, I cook and I clean every day. When you're off work, it still would be fine for you to come home and help me out. Because that's a job too when you think about it, because taking care of kids, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, all that kind of stuff, and keeping up with it on a daily basis, and trying to keep yourself together and keep your mental straight and have time for you, that's a big job. So I mean, both of them are hard. So
Lady Ann says she's a single mom too, and her daughter says she's dad and mom. What's your thought on that?
Here you go, baby. I'm sorry. What did you say, Adrian?
Lady Ann says she's a single mom, and her daughter says she's mom and dad. What's your thought on that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel where she's coming from. If her daughter has been watching her take the role of a mom and a dad, then you know what I'm saying? And what else do you expect her to believe? I mean, it's always important for, you know, the moms to be able to take care of both roles, because there's some things that people say, oh, a man is supposed to teach you about boys. Well, she's a strong mother. If her daughter saying you're mom and dad, that means you doing your job, you taking care of me, and you protecting me like my father should, and you still cooking, cleaning, and doing everything that and nurturing this, the way I expect my mama to. And you know, and that's how I looked at my mama growing up. You know, me and my sister, she was our mom and she was our dad. She was everything. We didn't want for nothing, because if we ever needed something, my mama gonna get it. You know, if it was a boy that hurt our feelings, my mama gonna threaten to fight his ass. I'm sorry for cussing, but you know, my mama, she was our mom and our dad. So I mean, I agree. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. She should be proud that her daughter said that about her, because it's like being a single parent is tough.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can agree with that, because like my I have always had a close relationship with my mom and my dad, but ever since I was like 5, my dad have been back and forth to the US. So kind of my mom raised me as a single parent, because my dad was probably only in Jamaica for a few months out of the year. So I do understand, but quite often, especially now in society, a little bit off topic, but a lot of people get offended when someone says that they're mom and dad, because they're like, there's things that moms cannot teach your kids versus things that dads can teach your kids that mom can't do. What's your thought on that?
I understand why they would think that, but the way I feel is, if you're an adult, think about it in our point of view. As an adult, we know exactly how and what to talk to our children about. You want to talk to them about sex. You want to talk to them about protection. You want to talk to them about safety. You want to talk to them about so many things. It doesn't take a certain gender to raise a child, because there's some same-sex couples who are raising kids the same exact way as a mom and dad would. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like gender doesn't play a part in that, because it just takes common sense, and it takes a person who wants the best for their child to be able to teach their child those things, because you have to think about it this way. There's some couples that are mom and dad and have mom and dad in the household, but
Mm-hmm.
neither one of them really care too much to do their job as parents. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So you just have to be willing to put that foot forward and say, you know what? You're around 16 years old. I know around this age is when kids start having hormones. I need to sit down and have a conversation with you about sex, and I need to
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation with you about protection and all of these things. You just have to have common sense and be willing to have those hard conversations. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
uncomfortable for you. It's gonna be uncomfortable for them. But I mean, shoot, when I started my cycle at 10 years old, my mama wasn't at the house. I came home with my cousin that day, and I realized it was all my uncle took me to get pads, and that's
Yeah.
a man. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it's a certain gender that can teach
Mm-hmm.
you about things. I feel like as long as they're as long as they care enough about you, they will give you the tools and necessities you need to go through life. So
Yeah, it's funny you talk about like feminine products because especially in Jamaica, it's looked down on when men go to the grocery store and pick up feminine products.
really,
Yeah. So what's your thought on that? I mean, we're in America now, and I feel like things are a lot different. But what's your thought on that? Should do you think that it's not a man's job to go out and do that stuff?
I mean, I get why it may be awkward, but I don't feel like nothing's wrong with it. I know. I mean, Aaron has went out
Mm-hmm.
and got tampons and stuff for me before. Um, he went and got me some panties and stuff before,
Mm-hmm.
when I was breastfeeding and stuff. He went and got my little bras. It just shows that, I mean, for me, if you have no type of question about your sexuality, you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
really be ashamed to go do whatever. Just like a man wearing a pink shirt, that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
automatically make him a certain label. You know what I'm saying? As long as
Mm-hmm.
you're comfortable with your sexuality, if I'm coming to get pads, I'm not bleeding from my penis. You know what I'm saying? I got to do it for
Yeah,
somebody.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't think nothing's wrong with it.
That's my thought. I feel like it really shows the type of commitment that man have for his woman to be able to go out there and do that, even though they're going to be judged for it. So I mean, if you have a man and the man they want to do that, then you need to cut him loose because he don't love you enough. Because sometimes a woman are not able to go out and get those stuff because personal reasons why they can't be going on the streets. So
Right.
society has really turned the whole thing upside down and try to set all these standards for people to follow. What's your thought on because a lot of us as people we don't like to be led into certain directions unless we have evaluated that direction and feel like it works for us. So what's your thought on just holistically people just trying to set rules for you? What do you think about rules that people want
Oh,
you to be guided by?
dang. Well, Adrian, I'm an Aries, so rules do not go well with me. Excuse me. I like structure,
Mm-hmm.
but I like for someone to come to me to set those boundaries. I don't like for somebody just telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm so happy I ended up not joining the military, because I would be miserable. I just don't like somebody telling me what to do. And if you're gonna tell me what to do, have a good reason why I should do it this way. Um,
Yeah.
that's just me. Even in relationships, like I don't play that. Like, don't tell me what to do. We can sit down and you have a conversation and
Mm-hmm.
figure out the best way. But just because you're the man in the house, there's no way you finna just tell me what to do, or you're gonna find out real quick how that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
play out. You know what I'm saying?
I really enjoy your point of view on all these things because you keep having me ask more questions. It's so yeah, like that those things where people say, "Oh yeah, I'm the man of the house, so you should listen to me, and
Mm-mm.
I should make the rules." And especially in Jamaica, I spoke about this briefly last night on Joe's live, and we were talking about men who are in relationship, people in Jamaica look down on them when they go grocery shopping. They call them what they classify as a mama man, which is
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's cheap and watch everything and is not manly. So I do appreciate your point of view on that because it's crazy how different cultures and different society really makes people feel less than they are.
Right. And I get that. And it's not even in just Jamaica. You know, I've had an instance where when me and Aaron first got together, he didn't feel like he should wash dishes and stuff like that. And I had to break him from that because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way I feel is if I'm working a full-time job, I'm in school, I'm paying bills, there's nothing that you can't do if there's nothing I can't do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just how I look, you know. But I know in different for different cultures it is like that. Like it's very strict. Like sometimes women are not allowed to like even speak over the man. Like they're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to voice their opinion and different things like that. And I'm just like, I would probably be beheaded by now. I would make
That's
it.
so true because I feel like everything gets better when you can sit down and come together and come to a what you call a conclusive decision when you
Mm-hmm.
work together. I feel like if you because it all goes back to even parenting, where you see people will say a lot of times parents are not on the same wavelength as it relates to like disciplined child. You'll have this parent say, "Oh, he should be okay with this." Meanwhile, this parent said, "No, this is a no-no."
Right.
So it's
Right.
like when I was growing up, my dad would never be the disciplinarian. He would always let my mom be the disciplinarian. And I felt like in that sense, it's kind of good in a sense, but it also makes the child resent the other parent because now they're thinking, all right, my dad loves me more than my mom because he never hit me, but my mom don't love me because she's always the one who's disciplining. So
Yeah.
it kinds of blurred the lines for the child. What's your thought?
That's kind of how it is in my house, actually. Except Aaron is the one, he disciplines the kids more than me. Like if they get in trouble, you know how in basketball and stuff you have to squat down and put your arms out.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make them get on the wall or get in the corner and stuff. See, I'm just naturally more nurturing, and I really hold on. Okay, you can go lay down. But my bad, y'all. But he disciplines the kids more than me. Like in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, I prefer to come and talk to them, figure out why something like if they fighting, I want to know why, who started it, who do I need
Mm-hmm.
to punish. He'll just come in, tell everybody to get on the wall, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then I have noticed, like you said, the kids they're happier when I'm home versus when he's home because they think, oh, he if we do something, we gonna get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, it's the same thing here, but it's not because of a certain like gender role or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
my personality.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel
I
like I
feel
can
like
learn
moms
from
naturally though
all of
they're
that.
nurturers, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard for them to really. But it's like for my mom, it was slightly different because she was the second of five girls, and her dad literally would abuse them in a sense. Like in Jamaican
Mm.
culture, it wouldn't be classified as abuse. The
Yeah.
way how they'll whoop you and stuff like that because the culture is slightly different. But I felt like in her mind, she kind of grew up with that masculine tendencies where her dad who used to mistreat her. So naturally, her mind is this is how I should raise my kids and this is how I should discipline. So I felt like it was easier for her to assume that disciplinary situation because my dad, he's more like the person who is very soft in a sense that he's the one that when people see him they say, oh, he doesn't talk, or they think he's like the world's
Mhm.
best person. I'm not saying he's a bad person, but he's one of those people who seems to be quiet, but people who really know him know that he's not really quiet. So it's like
Gotcha.
it's funny how you have those people.
Yeah, most definitely. My uncle's like that, and he was. I mean, I still don't think I heard him say too much to this day, and I'm grown. But my
Hmm.
uncle was like that, and it takes you to really get to know him to really be able to know his personality. But
Yeah.
I'm not very quiet. But I mean, if you talk to me, you'll think I whip my kids, but I don't.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
think I'll make them get in the corner, but it's just I just can't. Like I don't feel like they do anything bad enough to get whipped anyway. And as many whippings as I got when I was little, I got enough to go around. We don't got to whip nobody. So
So Eat Cook and Live It Up said she disciplined her son, but her husband says no. Says don't. Now, my thought on that is that your husband is gonna set a bad precedence for your child because now he's gonna run to him all the time when you're trying to whoop him. Like you have quite often you'll hear people say that um their mom says they can't get this, but they know dad will say yes, so they run to dad.
mm,
So that's that's kind of a iffy situation, but it's your house,
Yeah.
so you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Shen says she's coming up.
But based on that, I feel like as long as your husband's not saying no, like in front of the kids,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But if he's saying no in front of them, then that's gonna cause conflict. But even like when I don't agree with something Aaron does, I don't never say it in front of the kids. I kind of talk to him aside because if you get in the way of his discipline, then they're not gonna respect him.
Yeah, that's so true.
All right, you want me to drop off so Shane can come up?
No, Shen can come up. I feel like the conversation will flow a lot better because
Okay.
I like to get other people's perspective because I feel like
Yeah.
if I'm the only one sitting here talking about it, it's gonna get a lot like boring.
Yeah. I got you. I be feeling the same way.
Yeah. Okay, Eat, Cook, and Live It Up says he don't say it in front of the kid, just the way he looks at me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I so Eat, Cook, and Live It Up. Like, how do you feel when he give you that look when you're trying to discipline you guys' son? Because I feel like at the same time, the person, if you're disciplining the child based on something that is you guys feel like is morally um acceptable, then he shouldn't give you any eye. Welcome, Shen.
Hey, Shin.
Hey y'all.
Are you feeling any better today? I don't want to pressure you.
Oh, no pressure. I know how to sit down when I need to sit down.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna try to play catch up with you guys. I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading the comments and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, give me just a moment.
All right. So Ginger Snap says, I believe in spanking. I discipline my girls, but when I do, my hubby steps in and downgrades me in front of them. But I never do him that way because he's their daddy.
Oh, no. No. See, that's wrong. And I'm not trying to be negative on your household, but
Yeah.
if you do it in front of the kids will not respect y'all. Like, you have to be on the same page. So I just recommend that y'all talk, get on the same page. That way, when something happens, even if it's not favorable to one or the other person, y'all can talk about it away from the kids. And I had a problem with that actually, because y'all know I don't like whipping the kids and stuff. And Aaron was like popping them on the hand with like a belt or a switch or something like that when they got in trouble. And I used to tell him, no, don't do that. That's too hard. Even though it really wasn't too hard, I just don't like seeing them get whooped. But I had to learn, like, when you do it in front of the other parent, it just doesn't go well with the kids, because as a child, you're seeing the parents talk about how you're getting disciplined, and then they think that, oh, I could just run the mom or I could just run the dad, and it shouldn't be that way. Y'all should always be a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing in the house, is being a team.
Go ahead,
Now,
Shen.
what I want to point out with that is when your children are watching you interact, they're learning how to treat you, how to respect you, how to treat a woman, how a man should be treated, or how to treat others. So if mom is being treated like this by dad, they're going to follow him. Well, it's okay to talk to her that way. It's okay to respond to her that way. This is how we talk to women. This is how we talk to girls at school. This is how we talk to mom. I remember my mom and dad always talk about this story about when I was about 2 years old. I used to call my dad by his first name. And, you know, I used to be like, hey, John, your mama called you. And he was like, that ain't my damn mama. That's your mama. but because I heard my mama call him that, and to me, she was mama. And to me, he was, what's the name I used? John.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just how I learned to interact with him. You know what I'm saying? And so he had to tell me, and she had to tell me, no, that's not his name. You call him daddy. But they had to teach me that. Otherwise, if they never corrected that, I would have still been doing the same thing my mom was doing, calling him the same thing and treating him as though he was my brother. It's basically what I was doing.
Right.
Because my daddy never disciplined me really at all my entire life, except for one time. Um, but that just goes to show, here I am 2 years old. So I'm picking that up at 2. Imagine what you'll pick up at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You're really, paying attention. And kids know more than we think. We have to stop thinking that, oh, they don't know. We can talk in code. Codes never worked for me as a child. I knew everything they were talking about because I was nosy. I was always listening. So I'm
Yeah.
like, hold up. I saw this happening. And she just said this, and they said that. That didn't make sense. But then 2 weeks later, I put it together and it made sense. So we have to stop thinking that kids don't know. And we have to talk to them, really talk to them on our level. Let's stop dumbing things down for them because what we do is we're underestimating them and we're leaving out valuable pieces of information. And those pieces of information that we leave out, we end up leaving that to the world to define instead of us defining that for our children and setting the tone for them. And then we wonder, where you get that from? Well, you left that window open.
Right.
So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, Eat Cook and Live It Up says she feel bad because it makes her feel that she's not disciplining her son the right way. Now, Eat Cook and Live It Up, you got to do what, in my opinion, you got to do what you feel is best as disciplining your child. I mean, at the same time, as you said, your husband works a lot and all those stuff. So at the end of the day, you're going to be held responsible for the type of child that he comes out to, because obviously the dad is there present, but at the same time he works a lot, so he's not there as much. So it's like, even now, the same situation with my mom and my dad. My dad was always away here in America working, and my mom was living in Jamaica, and I was there with her for the most time. So essentially, she's the reason why I am how I am. I cannot give any praises to my dad because obviously he wasn't physically there to help with discipline. But as Shen said, I feel like my dad, you have only disciplined me once, and it was a funny story because we were getting ready. We're on the road, and parents don't like to be disrespected on the road. So I was there, and I said to him, I was like, he had just bought me something. I think I was probably like 5, 6, or 7, somewhere there. And he had just bought me something, and I saw another salesman walking around, and I was like, Dad, I need that, I need that. He's like, I just bought you something, you're not getting anything more. And I was like, they were holding on to his pocket and crying. And he got his hand and he slapped me in my head. And every time I remind him, he's like, oh, I don't remember that. I'm like, I remember because I was a kid and I remembered. But of course, when a parent get upset, they'll do certain things that they don't think about. And that was the only time my dad ever disciplined me. But yeah, it's also funny that I used to call my mom by her first name because obviously that's what I always hear. And my grandmother had to correct me and tell me, that's not how you do it. So yeah. What's your thought?
Right. You wanted to know our thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like what's your thought on someone feeling bad that they're not disciplining their child the right way based on they have opposite opinions from the other parent?
I'm gonna let Ashley speak on that first.
Yeah, because I've experienced that myself. Because with me and Aaron, like I said, I really don't discipline him, and he does. He's always getting on to me about, you need to be tougher, they boys, you need to be tougher on them, and blah blah blah. But the way, and sometimes it does make me feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, because of my lack of discipline, I guess. But he'll say things like, "Oh, they're not going to respect you if you don't whoop them or if you don't discipline them." And my thing is, just the way I deal with it is I just trust my instincts. You know what I'm saying? These are my kids. I held them in my body. I feel like I know what's best. And my relationship with them is different than his relationship with them. I prefer to talk to them. And I mean, just be confident in what you decide to do for your kids. Because even though Aaron says those things and I understand where he's coming from, he just wants us to be on the same page. But I'm not going to force myself to be a certain way that I'm not just because of his feelings. I have to be true to what I believe and what I feel. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people might disagree with my style of parenting, but I mean, I get my way with it because my thing is I don't have to whoop you to make you know that you did wrong. All I got to do is say, give me that Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Unplug the Xbox. Turn off the TV. and it's going to have the same effect. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be physically disciplining you to, because I mean, think about it. Once that whooping wears off,
Mm-hmm.
it's over. It's
Yeah.
over. But if I take your Xbox, if I take your TV, tell you can't use my phone, you gonna feel that all day. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the way I look at it. You know, just
Yeah.
be confident in how you're disciplining your child. If it works for you, especially if you're with them more often than the father is, if it works for you, you do you.
Yeah.
Because you can't let nobody raise your kids for you. You held them kids in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have a motherly instinct to know what's best for your children. And that's how I feel. Because when Aaron tells me, "Oh, you're not this, you're not that," I pop these babies out, boy. And I know what's best. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make my
Yeah.
own decisions. You know, and that's how I personally take it. So
Yeah.
that's my
Let's
Now,
go
what I
back
would
to.
say is that,
Go ahead, Shen.
well, I'm going to speak from the child's point of view on
Mm-hmm.
this. My parents had two totally different ways of disciplining me. My mom was the old fashioned way. She fired me up, the spanking, the belt, whatever
mm-hmm.
you want to call it. She did the old traditional way. My dad used his mouth. Now, growing up, I respected both of them. I listened to everything that they told me to do. Well, not let me just. I was still a kid, so I still got in trouble. But I respected my parents. But the respect came from two different things. Um, the respect from my dad, from my mom, came from me being fearful of being, receiving a whooping. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be hit again. So it was a fear of that. Is how she taught me. But with my dad, it was the fear of disappointing him. And so to me, it was two totally different things. But my mom, when I talk to her about it now, she feels guilty, but she also kind of gets defensive because as far as she knows, that was the way that she knew how to do it. And I don't, it worked, to be honest. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't as loud as my cousins were. I wasn't, in the streets and doing this stuff and getting into all the other things that a lot of my cousins did. I was more the girl who had her head on. I got good grades in school. I went to the better school because of, grades and stuff. And I'm the one that always did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And so on that end of it, it paid off. However, in the very beginning, earlier part of my life I'll say before I hit like 16, it did kind of hold me back a little bit because I was afraid to make decisions without my mom because I was afraid of her, coming down on me. Would I be, would I get a whooping or would I be, put in my room and on punishment and all this other stuff? Whereas with my dad, when he was disappointed, he would give me these long talks, tell me how disappointed he was and how he knew I could do better and this and this and that. And that right there would break my heart. So it would hurt me more to see him hurt by my actions.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, I mean, both ways work, but it does psychologically does have two different effects on it
Right.
and on the children. So I can understand where people are coming from when they say, well, I don't want my children. Because it can and it does work.
Yeah.
However, you can't, my dad would have never allowed me to just run them up and just do whatever I wanted to do and just be like, oh, Lord, that child. No, he would have been like, come sit your down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean? So he still got me together. He just got me together using, the power of his presence
Right.
versus the power of his hand.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that does make a difference. Now I was able to get past, some of the ways I felt. I guess you could say the fear that I had in my mom, and
Mm-hmm.
then later that turned into respect when I became a teenager, and she started to give me more respect as a young lady. So now me and her, are best friends, and we have a great relationship, and that's why we're able to talk about that now. But there is definitely parenting styles definitely plays a difference. I'm sorry, excuse me, plays a big role in your relationship with the parents, and the parents can come to blows about it because, to be honest, for some parents, some parents compete. Does the kids love me more, or do they love you more? And if the
Yeah.
kids feel like, well, I'm gonna lean towards dad more because he's more comforting than
Mm-hmm.
mom, then the mom may be like, well, I'm the one doing this, I'm the one doing that, and it becomes friction
Mm-hmm.
between the parents, and then the mom may become even more aggressive or harder with the kids. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best to explain that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, that definitely happened to me growing up as a child because it was funny because obviously my dad, he was traveling, so at the same time he was traveling for a better life. So that way he obviously had money in a sense that he could give me whatever I needed and stuff like that. But I failed to realize that my mom, she was playing the bigger role in this whole situation because she was there every day nurturing me and all those stuff and giving me all the necessary things that I needed. So it was funny because one day I made two balloons and I was like, number one, dad, and number two, mom. And my mom was really upset by that because she was hurt because, which she had all right to be hurt because obviously she was there 24/7. Meanwhile, dad was probably there 20 out of 7. You know what I'm saying? So I felt her pain. Now, looking back at it, I'm like, I was wrong for that. But as a child, when you see certain things, it leads you to think something else.
Right. That's true. And
Yeah.
especially like if your mom's with you primarily, I can see why that would hurt her feelings, because it's like, dang, I'm doing everything for you. He barely here. But as a child, you have to always remember, and that's what I try to remind everybody. I'm not a long time mom, and my kids ain't grown or nothing, but kids have feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
kids see and hear everything you think they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important for us to pay attention and nurture our child's body, heart, and their mind. Don't just think that it's my job to feed and clothe you. No, it's my job to make sure you're okay mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for you to ask your kids questions, encourage them to express their feelings. If something's going on, tell me about it. Don't ever be afraid to tell me, because a lot of the times that fear, and when they feel like they can't talk to their parents about stuff, is usually when kids start to get molested, abused, and
Mm-hmm.
sexually touched by people, and they feel they can't come forward and tell their parents. So if you have that close relationship with your kids where they can talk to you and you're taking care of their mental state, they will feel comfortable talking to you about anything. But you have to start that from a young age. And that's why I feel it's so important to talk to my kids. Let them know I'm mom, but I'm your best friend. You can count on me for anything. I don't care if you just sad because you ain't get 2 cookies in your lunchbox today. Tell me that. Talk to me about it. Let's sit down and talk. And they 5 and 8, but they're good at expressing their feelings, and that is so important to me.
Absolutely. So Mukbang Thing said, I'm way behind on the chat, but I wanted to touch on this. She said, I was told the same thing about my son. I needed to be hard on him. Hard on him is what I was always told. And that goes back to society trying to control us as parents and trying to tell us he's a man and we're raising a man and he need to be this. But I feel like the true qualities of raising a man is growing them with morals and how to respect people and respect society and respect rules and laws. It's not about being masculine or feminine. It's truly about just raising someone to be holistic and someone who is going to be loyal, someone who is going to be what do you call it now, respectful, who is
Right.
going to create opportunities for their family, who is going to be a partner in time of needs. That's what I truly believe a man is.
Right. And my thoughts on that is, I think Mukbang is right. Like, you have to be I understand, like, you get criticized for not making them a man, quote unquote, because you're not as hard on them. But y'all think about it in today's society, especially with Black men. Think about how many Black men have underlying depression that is never talked about because they're a man. Think about how many men in today's society don't cry. They don't cry. Like, I've seen Aaron cry twice, and I've been with him 7+ years. And it's because of that stigma. I'm a man. I'm a man. They don't want to show emotion. They don't want to do this, but that's creating mental illness. And it's important for us to remind them they have feelings too. And it's okay just because you're a man to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be sad, just like everybody else, and making them hard has nothing to do with how you're raising them. You make a man mentally strong. You don't have to make a man be able to endure a whooping. That doesn't make him strong. You make him mentally strong. That's what's going to carry him, because today's world is sick. And if you're not mentally prepared, it will eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
So
now I want to piggyback on that and also just kind of dig a little bit deeper into the topic that you have on the stream. Gender roles, I know we have them here in America, and most countries have them, but it's really based on culture. And we have the option and the opportunity to change it. It's up to us to change that. We don't have to do it that way. We have the right to tell our kids, you know, hey, like Adrian said, your job is to treat every person, male, female, old, young, whatever, treat them right. Treat them right. Do unto others, love them, understand people, understand that everyone isn't like you, and appreciate the differences. And I think that when men are taught, because it's not just the African American community or the Black community, it's across the board. You can find where men are taught to suppress their feelings. And what that does is, we always talk about how women go through trauma and we have to heal and, grow and get better. Men have to do the same thing, but we don't give them the opportunity to heal, to grow, and to cry through it and push through it. They have to suppress it. And when you allow them to, or force them to suppress all that hurt and that pain, and then boom, guess what? They explode. And then we just be like, oh, men so aggressive. No, they just have years and years of pressure on them, and they finally release it. Or the thing is, no one ever taught them how to deal with those emotions. It make them uncomfortable. They don't know what to do with them. So they either run from them or they act out on one extreme to another. Either they completely numb or they're completely mad. So we have to teach them, teach our boys that it's okay, whether you have young boys or not. Teach your kids, friends, teach your neighbor kids, hey, it's okay. And as grown men, with your boyfriends or your husbands, it's up to us to remind them and let them know, hey, it's okay to do that. We have to let them know that it's safe. You're safe at home. This is the privacy of our own home. Even if you're not ready to cry in front of me or release that in front of me, I'll step out if you need to do that. I'll leave home temporarily so you can release that, because I don't want you holding that in. Right. If you need time to yourself, even if you need to get in the car and just ride it out, do it. We have to let them know that it is okay to release that in a safe way, because they don't, a lot of men don't even know that it's okay because no one has told them yet. It's millions of men right now who need to hear this conversation. And because no one has told them, they're not telling their sons. And guess what? Their sons aren't going to tell their sons. And their sons aren't going to tell their sons. So we as women, we as men who do know, we have to encourage that. I don't know if y'all have heard of the group that's on YouTube called Mob Only. It's a group of men, all different age groups. And I go to their chats all the time. I've even joined recently because I went into their live stream one night, and these men were actually opening up about traumatic experiences that they had. And for the first time, it was a group of 50 plus men in a chat supporting one another and sharing their experiences. Now, other times I go in there, they're cussing, talking crazy, cracking jokes, laughing, being wild. And this particular night, they were sharing true stories. They were sharing heartfelt stories. And I was like, men need this. And I was so happy to see a bunch of men be open with each other and support one another. And we have to let them know that it's okay to do that all the time, not just one night out of 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
So I hope I wasn't loud on y'all, because I did get a little bit loud because sometimes I have to push out my words.
No, you were
So I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're fine. But I
Okay.
can definitely second that, Shan. I feel like you hit that on the head. Like once if they don't, and that's not even just for men, that's for anybody. If you don't release that energy and talk to somebody, vent, do something, it will build up on you and it will cause more problems than what it was in the beginning. So
So Aeon said she was taught that crying was a weakness in her household, so she never cried most of her life.
oh my gosh. I'm sorry to hear that.
And she's not the only one.
Yeah,
She's
she's
not
definitely
the
not
only
the
one.
only one. Cause that's
She did
how
say
I'm sorry, go ahead, Shan.
no, I was just gonna say she also said she's currently starting counseling. And that's okay. They're gonna give you the tools that you need to learn to release that. So that's a great start. Recognizing, you know, that you haven't learned to do that and that you need to do that. That's a great start. So
Right.
hats off to you for doing that.
Right. That's so true because sometimes people just go through life and deny that they have a problem or deny that something is wrong. So it's good that you were able to realize that. But as far as like the households that don't allow their kids to cry, they're just setting them up for failure because you have to, like Mukbang said, I was taught that as well. Took me till she was 30 to cry. And it's like you have to be able to release those emotions. I don't care. Like my kids, I always tell them this is always a safe place. At home is always a safe place, and you should never feel restricted at home. So I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Hey Aeon, welcome.
Hey,
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Not much. How are you?
Hello.
Just taking it day by day. You know, this whole talk pretty much hit me at home. Um, Especially when y'all was talking about like, your parents spanking you and everything. Well, the way I grew up, um, my dad died when I was 4, so it was just me and my mom. And um, my oldest brother on my dad's side had to come live with us. I guess my dad on his deathbed told him like, "Hey, you need to watch your baby sister, so just come live with her." My mom was against it at first, but um hey Mukbang, hey, how you doing? Hey Sugar. Um this is very tough for me to talk about this, but um I've kept so many things in my life to myself for many years, and that's why I decided to give in and start counseling, because this is just something that I just really have to get off my chest, because it's pretty much hurt me for many years. Um, well, when my brother came to live with us, um, my mother would never discipline me. My mom worked all the time, so I was always with my brother. My brother was the one that always did the disciplining of me. Um, I remember there was one time, and my mother, when she would go to work, she would leave me with neighbors. We had neighbors that lived across the street, and I never liked being with those neighbors because a lot of times when I would be with them, they would lock me up in a room while them and their kids did certain things together as a family. Um, she gave them permission to actually spank me, and I wasn't happy with that. um and there'll be times where I will run away. I would pretty much run away from home because I just was like, you know why is she allowing these things to happen to me? Why is she letting just random strangers just do these things to me? And I remember this one incident, and it's still kind of haunts me to this day. um I was in elementary school, and the neighbors had to come pick me up in order for me to go back by their house, but I didn't want to. And um, they called my brother. And a lot of times, like, in New Orleans, my brother was known as Crazy Man, and there was a main reason behind it. Um, well, he came up to the school and they told him that I did something that I didn't have no business doing, which I really didn't understand why. And he took out this big paddle. It was like this paddle, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was pretty much like a wooden paddle, and it had like gray duct tape all around it, because every time he actually whipped me, you can actually hear it whistle. Um, I tried my best to run away from him, but he actually grabbed me. And when he grabbed me, he actually spanked me in front of the whole school. It was like there was so many buses that were passing by, and the neighbors, they just stood there and just started laughing the whole time. I'm pretty much just, you know, trying to run away. And I have to say, with that, I tried my best to run away from him. And when I ran, I mean, I ran for blocks. I didn't even go home that night. I was really scared to go back home, and I kept this in for so many years. I never even told my mother because I just felt like my mother wouldn't actually understand that the things that were going on. And it's like, you know, everything that I've gone through, it's stayed in, it just really made me like a very cold person as I was growing up. Um, it made me to the point where I was so cold that anytime a person actually said anything that I didn't like, I pretty much was ready to fight. I um, just the fact of, I had to fight just to get my point across, because nobody wouldn't listen to me. Nobody never believed me. Nobody, when I tried to reach out for help, nobody was there. And you would think that my mother, of all people, would understand what I've gone through, and she just did not get it. She didn't get it. She didn't get it at all. And even to this day, she still doesn't get it.
Take your
And
time.
it hurts. It really hurts. It hurts. It affects me deeply. Like, even at being a grown adult, it affects me hard. It is like just the fact of learning that crying is a weakness in your household. You couldn't even cry. Anytime I cried, I was threatened to be whipped.
Hmm.
You know, it's a lot of things these days. It's like always told myself, I was like, I'm damaged goods. I'm damaged goods. Why would anybody want me? Why would anybody want to be around me? Why would anybody why am I even here? Why am I even here? Because they just make me feel like I'm nothing. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like nothing. That's exactly how I feel now these days. I feel like nothing.
Aeon, baby, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm sorry no one ever told you how loved you are. You are loved. You may not have felt love, but God has loved you since the day you were created. God has loved you since the day you were created. I can't imagine what you went through. I cannot. I'm sorry no one was there to protect you from that and that you didn't have anyone to talk to in those times. But I'm glad you made it through it. I'm so glad you made it through it. I'm so glad to know that you're okay to cry now. That you know that you can cry now, and that you're doing that with us in the chat. You're sharing your story. You said you've never talked about it before. Your growth is that you're able to talk about it now. That means you're healing. You're healing now. Being able to cry about it now. Keep crying about it. Keep releasing that because you held that in your entire life and you deserve to cry about it. So you keep doing it. You keep doing it.
And I also wanted to mention, not only are you loved,
Is that
Is it
your
for
music,
me?
Aeon?
can y'all hear me?
Hello?
Is that
Yeah.
your music?
Can-
I think that's my TV. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, because I didn't know what it was.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, but I didn't know what that was. But I'm so glad to see that you're healing now. And I'm gonna tell you this: all that noise that's going on in the background, that's the devil not wanting you to heal. But that's all right. That is all right. That's nothing but a distraction. But you're growing and you're healing. The fact that you're here now, I'm so happy that you're up here with us now. I'm so happy. Those that coldness and that fight that you had, that was how you learned to protect yourself. That's what that was. Because no one taught you how to fight back. No one taught you how to love yourself. And you're learning now. It's never too late. It's never too late. We're all still learning how to love ourselves for who we are now. We're still finding ourselves.
Right.
But I'm just so thankful and I'm so happy that you're here with us now. I can't take back what happened. I wish I could, but I can love you from where you are now. I may can't love it away, but I can love you through it right now. So just know that I'm Shan Make Love on IG. You can always reach out to me, girl. We can cry about it together. If you need to vent, I'll listen. I'll shut up, and you can say whatever you need to say, and it'll stay between us.
hmm
You just let
It's
me know.
like when I first met Adrian, and the first time I ever, this is like my third time being on here, but the first time when Joe Cola had his live and he was talking about mental illness and a whole bunch of other things, and Adrian and Jill was in there, I pretty much shared the things that I'm actually going through right now, um, especially dealing with a parent that, you know, suffers with mental illness right now, and I'm pretty much taking care of her and all the stress that I deal with currently at this moment. The situation has gotten a little bit better, but it's still a lot to go. But it's just the main thing that I was just pretty much going through, from day to day. It's just like, when am I gonna live my life? When am I gonna finally do what I need to do for me? You know,
Mhm.
and it's just that the reason why I started to go to counseling at first, I was like, I don't think I have a problem. But then when I started realizing, I'm like, I don't forget a thing. Like I have such a photographic memory that I don't forget nothing. And I just realized that I've been keeping these things pinned up for 35 years.
Wow.
And it's eating me up. It is eating me up. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get myself some help. I have to. Because I said, deep down inside, I'm breaking down. I am breaking down. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
So she said something in the live. She said this has been a while back in the chat, but I felt like it was important. She said, "I'm sorry to hear that so many of us have these things in common where we weren't allowed to open up and express ourselves, but at the same time, I'm glad we are having this moment."
Yeah.
And a lot of people sending love prayers for you, Aeon. We all love you. We're all here to support you. So just take your time, and that's why I'm glad that I opened up this to the panel, because we have so many great people in this circle who just inspire us every day. and they always have a good message. Especially Shen, she always just comes to you with this calming. Well, whew, go ahead.
Mm. Yeah, it's like the whole time y'all was actually talking, I was pretty much just watching and just crying so bad because I was just like, this is really hitting me at home, and it's just giving me real bad flashbacks. And I was just like, I have to talk about this, because if I don't talk about it, this is gonna fester with.
Mhm.
It really is. It's gonna fester within me, especially when you mentioned that you have to let it out.
Yes.
First, I was
Yes.
scared because I didn't know how to let it out. I didn't know how to, you know, and if this is gonna be the first
They,
chance that I ever get for me to finally release, I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
And that's
I'm
good,
gonna
Jill,
do it.
because I know I've always been taught to flush my emotional toilet. And that's when I went to therapy, because I didn't go through something like to the extent that you did, but I went through something that was traumatic for me, and I had depression, and I had to go through therapy. And it took me a while. It took me till I was in my 20s to be able to muster up the strength to go. But my therapist always reminded me, you have to flush your emotional toilet. You have to, because if you don't, it's just going to keep piling up. It's not going to go down until you flush it. So anything you can do to vent or take some you time and take care of yourself, do that. And I wanted to say, not only are you loved, but you're so strong, because Adrian has over 1,000 subscribers. Well, I'm sorry, we're not supposed to say that word, but supporters. So you have potential for 1,000 plus people to view this and learn something from it based off of your experience that you were brave enough to share with the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people cannot do. And even though I know that's festering inside of you, all of that pain, which is going to, God put that on you so you can bless somebody else with what you've been through. And it's sometimes not fair what He makes us do to be able to help somebody else, but you could have ended your own life. You could have shut down. You could be on drugs. You could be so many things, but you're here, you're healthy, and you're strong, and you're talking about it, and you are loved, and you are appreciated, and you are smart, and you are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And there's no greater love than the love you have for yourself, because you saw fit to keep going. I don't care what nobody else say to you. You saw fit to keep going because you love yourself. Never stop having that love for yourself, because that's the love that's not going to change. You can't depend on other people to make you feel worthy. They will always let you down. You have to love you. And you've done that, because look at you now. You don't know who could be watching this in the background and being touched by it or listening to it, or who gonna go back to it in 3 days and watch this live and learn something from it. You might have somebody come to you and say, hey, look, you changed my life with your story. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like talking about it and sharing it, you know, that can help somebody. And helping somebody will show you how much everybody was wrong about you. Because I can feel that now. Everybody was wrong about you. And like Shin
Yeah.
said, it's just the devil that tries to manipulate your mind. But one thing about the devil, that's all he can do is try to play with your mind. That's it. He can't do nothing. He has no power. He has no
Yeah.
control. The devil's gonna throw tricks at you left and right. And the more you prosper, the higher you climb, the more they're gonna come. But you have a story to tell, and you are so strong for being able to even share that with us, because I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna learn from that. Because even me with my kids, you know what I'm saying. Now I'm thinking about, okay, have I sheltered my kids from feeling that they can come to me about things? What mental what mental seeds am I planting in my kids that can come back when they're adults? You know what I'm saying? This can resonate with so many people in so many different ways. And it took you to share your story. We wouldn't have had this conversation this deep if it wasn't for you. So I appreciate you and I thank you for being so transparent with us.
So when you go to counseling, they're going to give you the tools that you need. Are you talking?
Thank you
No,
very
she's just
Aeon, were
much
you saying something?
because
no. Go ahead, Aeon.
Oh, okay.
mhm, I'm just very glad that I am taking this step to actually do this. And, you know, I just, oh, sorry.
Don't apologize.
I'm just very glad
Just
that I
take
am
it.
deciding to take this step because I thought that this was going to be a risk, you know. You know, but I'm glad that I'm doing it. I need it. I
It's
need
called stepping out on faith.
all the help I can get.
Yeah.
All right, so 1 second.
Um,
Mukbang, go ahead. Go ahead, Aeon. Finish what you were saying.
you know, mm, because I've been completely down in the dumps for like these past few weeks, and right now I'm in a certain part of Texas, and I was thinking about moving back home because I was like, I don't feel like I'm accepted here. Um, it's it's uh it's been hard to cope. It's been hard to cope, and the one thing that really hit me the hardest was that the other day my mom was like, "You just can't seem to get over your past, can you?" She's like, "You're just like your daddy every time you get mad. You're just like your daddy every time you always want to bring up the past, but she don't realize I can't forget it. My mom's blocked a lot of things out of her mind, but I can't.
Hmm.
I can't. And she wants me to, but I can't."
Now, Aeon, I'm going to tell you this. Your mom wants you to block it because she's not
Mhm.
ready to deal with it. So her problem is her problem. You worry about you and getting you together. If your mom isn't ready to grow and move past her past and learn from it, that's fine. God is ready to move in your life, and you stay focused on that. Her saying that is to pull you back. You are moving forward, and you're going to keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Every time she says something negative to you, you remind yourself that's not who God said I am. God said I don't have to stay there. You remind yourself that you are who you create your own destiny. You decide from now on. You are no longer that little girl where you have to ask her for permission. You don't have to ask her for permission. You don't need her approval. You do not need it anymore. You do not. Girl, you just don't know. You are already you are already on your way. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's hard. I promise you I wish it was easy. It is not hard. Girl, I got so many stories to tell you. I can tell you I can talk for years. It is not easy. It's hard. But God gives us tasks that He knows we can handle. He's prepared us for it. See, my story is my story because guess what? The things I've been through, you probably couldn't handle. Things you've been through, I probably couldn't
Mhm.
handle. But God knew. He knew that we would be able to handle it. He knew that He would see us through it and that we would be able to tell our stories one day to help somebody else through it.
Mhm.
And that's all this is. You've made it through it and girl, you just don't know. You're on your way. You are definitely on your way. So I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna let you continue to talk.
Yeah, Mukbang and Thing said God knew what he designed when he made Aeon. Don't question him. The
Mm-hmm.
more you heal, the more will be revealed. Keep sharing. You are supported, and what your story really touched her heart.
Mm-hmm.
Jill says your testimony is a recovery for someone else. Um, Vicky's World said we're glad. I guess she's saying we're happy you're sharing your story and whatever. Um, Jill said, and you need to surround yourself around some positive people. Vicky's World said, baby, wash your soul out. Don't you ever be sorry. Um, Miss Sugar says, yes, Jill, that's key. You need Ayan needs a change of scenery. Eat, cook, and live with a smile. Said, I'm so sorry to hear this. The Creative Crow said, you don't need acceptance or validation from no one. Ayan, you're a strong person. Don't be afraid to live your truth. Miss Sugar said, man, I can so relate. Pickadell said, oh no, I guess don't let her get to you and block your feelings. She's not ready. And Jill said, that's on her. I told her that. Mukbang and Things says, trauma is not easy to get over, but you can be healed. Please stop telling yourself that you can't. You can be healed, not overnight, but step by step, moment by moment, minute by minute. Jill also said, CA on confirmation of what I told you the other night. Jill says she's praying for you. Lady Ann said, so much love. So you have a lot of support here.
Thank y'all very much.
You're welcome.
I really
You're
needed.
welcome.
I needed this. Mm.
Did you have anything to say, Ash?
No, I'm good. I think I pretty much got everything
Okay.
out for.
Mukbang and Things, are you available to come up and talk with us?
I like what Ginger Snap just said. My favorite saying I say to myself is I'm perfectly imperfect. Ecclesiastes 7:20. God don't put no more in you than you can handle. That's what I
Yeah.
need to be reminded. That's what I need to be reminded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mukbang and Things going to join us, and she's going, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you know, Aeon, me and you talk a lot of times, and you know, as I always tell you, I'm a listening ear. When you call, sometimes you say, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry I cut you off." I'm like, "No, it's okay," because I'm a good listener. I like to talk, but you know, I'm also a good listener to really listen to people and empathize with them. That's very important. Empathy is important. We're not feeling sorry for people. We're empathizing with what you're going through. So, you know.
um, can you read Totally T's comment?
Oh, totally T. Okay. Totally T said, I really big step is to acknowledge your feelings and experience, but the biggest of them all is to work on changing how you think. I am sending your all the health and strength the word has to offer. I hope I said that right. Oh,
Yes.
Mukbang is here.
Yeah.
Mukbang.
Hey, Mukbang and Thanks.
Hey, Mug.
Hey everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Have everybody in the chat. Hey Adrian, thanks for having me. Ashley, Shen, and Aeon Flux. Hey. I
Yeah, we're hearing
can
you.
Hey, what's
okay.
going on, sis Mukbang?
You can hear me okay?
Hey.
Yeah, we're hearing you perfectly.
Yeah, but first let me tell you, Adrian, I think this is great that you're having this live stream and that, it's I understand that people have different levels and ways of coping with things, and some people don't like to go too deep on YouTube, and that's fine. Everybody has their own level. But I do applaud people that are bold enough to have these difficult conversations because they are necessary. And I'm more of a person like that. I mean, I don't mind having a difficult conversation because at the end of it, I feel like it's freedom in that. And even if you don't catch something tonight, maybe it'll come to you the next week or the next week. So I just applaud you, like I said, for opening up your platform in this way and doing this, and allowing, you know, people on here to speak, and allowing Aeon to speak, because she had a lot to say. And I think, it was time for her, to say it. And I've been that girl that was angry and lashed out, because of things that had happened to me in my life. I could resonate. I mean, a lot of what she said resonated with me, even though there were different types of experiences. There's still pieces flecked in there that I can relate to, and it was mainly about how my situation made me be an angry person and lash out at people. And you know um I kept a lot inside. And when I did open my mouth, it wasn't nothing nice coming out. So it took me years to be able to get over stuff like that. I was told, you don't cry, that shows weakness and all this stuff, you have to be strong. And and that's just how I did it. And like I said earlier, I was probably like about 30 years before 30 years old before I learned that it was okay for me to cry. And once I released that, it was like a river or a faucet that couldn't get shut off. I'll cry at the drop of a hat. I do not hide my feelings. I just let them come. So, Aeon, you whatever steps you need to take to find healing for yourself, do that. I applaud you for saying that, about the counseling and stuff. Don't worry about how people feel about it. If people look down or whatever, it doesn't even matter. It's all about you. It's all about you trying to grow and heal. And you've already taken the first steps, and you've taken a second step, and you've taken it every time you make a decision that you want to do something different. That's you taking another step. You sharing your story right now, that's you taking another step. It's somebody that's helping, and they might not even be present in the chat where they're actively talking or anything like that. But these experiences, no matter what they are, that they always serve a purpose in our lives to help us through it. You have a beautiful spirit. And you in chats, I've seen you supporting creative just a very loving presence when you're in the chat, just by texting. And I never would have said, okay, this person feels like this, because you don't carry yourself like that. So that lets me know already that you have tremendous strength, much more than you probably even think. Let those tears fall. Those are liquid prayers. And you're going to be okay, but don't stop doing the work. Don't stop doing the work. It's all about you. People telling you need to block this out, block that out. No, you need to feel, deal, and heal. Feel
Right.
it, deal with it, and heal from it.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yes.
on the right
Mhm.
path, sis. Just stay the course.
Stay the
You're on the
course.
right path. And it doesn't have to
Yes.
happen tomorrow. It doesn't have to happen next week. But like I said, minute by minute, moment by moment, day by day, you'll get there. Just don't stop. Stay the course and do what you need to do to get better for yourself. Okay?
Yes. I wish I could give you a hug,
I
but I'm hugging you,
know.
girl.
Truly.
You got
But we
anything
are
to
all
say,
sending you virtual hugs.
I actually start counseling next week.
Well, this was your
Well,
kickoff
we can
because
always do virtual hugs.
Yes, virtual
Yeah, I
hugs to
start
you.
counseling next week. So
That's
Um,
great.
I'm very anxious. I'm very nervous, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Oh
I'm
yeah.
happy for you.
Oh yeah. Um, actually, it's like now I feel like a burden has come off of me with this. You know, day by day, little by little. I'm just gonna learn how to change the things that I can, but learn to accept the things that I can't. But I know first of all, with this counseling, I'm gonna start learning how to love myself more, finding out what my self worth is because
Mhm.
I struggled with that for a very long time. You know, and in order for me to love anybody else, I have to learn how to love myself, and that starts within
Amen.
me. So
Well, congratulations to you for um for taking those steps to start
yeah.
counseling. I did that myself many years ago, and
So
it was healing for me. So it can be for you as well. And I think it's normal to feel some anxiousness and
yeah.
nervousness about it, but that's okay. Just do it anyway.
I have to say it's gotten so completely quiet just now.
I'm over here just trying to catch my breath.
Good, good, Shen. Take your time. Yeah, we just wanted you to say what you had to say, Aeon. K Cotton said, I'm praying for whatever the
Mhm.
situation is. Aeon, I was late, so I missed it. From what I am hearing, now a breakthrough is on its way. Love you, sis. Um, T says, actively take
Yeah,
steps, put
because I
it in
mean,
front of your mind.
I was always told,
Right?
"Oh, you need to go seek some help." You know,
Going to talk somebody will change your life. It will give you a whole different perspective on how you feel about things and how you react to things because it's someone that's looking at your situation from the outside in.
thank you.
And yeah,
Thanks
seriously, and it will
everybody
completely
that's
change
on here.
everything.
Give
Thank you
me
for
give me one
sharing.
second. Aeon, Miss Sugar was asking what's your IG, but I know you're not on
Yeah,
social media. You always do email or text.
because the first
So
time
is it okay if I
somebody's
forward
like,
the
"You need some
information to
help," I
them?
was like, you know, mhm.
I think our connection is delayed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seems like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll
Oh, okay.
I have your email, so I'll forward it to some of you guys in direct message. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, I don't do social media. I just, I guess it's because I just, you know, me and social media. I guess because I just, no, I'm not on social media. I guess it's because I just didn't feel like I'm confident to be on social. I just confident media. I just don't for it yet.
Well,
Mm.
I feel like you should take your time. If you're
Right.
not ready for that, then
Don't
don't.
for
It's a
right
lot of people
till
that don't do
this or
social
I'm on
media.
something like that. But
Is it a delay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a delay.
Oh, okay.
I noticed there's a delay. Like when people are trying to talk, I noticed that it's taking a while. Like it's kind of like a pause, like it's messing up.
Yeah, it's delayed. Sometimes you have to leave the stream and come back into it.
Hmm.
And some,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah,
That's
that might
best.
be what it is.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But yeah, my when my daughter was going through counseling and stuff like that, she was advised not to stay off of social media. So it's not for
Hmm.
everybody. If you're not ready for it, you know, then you're not ready for it. It's okay. You know what you can
Hmm.
handle and at what level.
Yeah.
But hopefully you'll be able to eventually build that confidence and step out there if you want to be able to connect with those that want to connect with
Hmm.
but otherwise there are other ways to
Right.
connect. So
And remember, there is no pressure.
Hmm.
There is no rush. Girl, there is no rush. Do it all at your speed. Even if you decide to do a little bit a day, even if you just want to take a peek, not say anything, that's perfectly fine. It's all on you and how you want to do it. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, this social media stuff, trust me, the way this world set up, it's not going anywhere.
mm,
Yeah,
I
mm,
know that for sure.
So K Cotton says our community really need the most help.
Whew.
We have been through a lot as
Goodness
people.
gracious.
That's true,
I
Kate.
know that for sure. Especially dealing with Adrian. It's really, really it's a lot. It's a lot because Adrian, you remember when I told you I'm going through at my job right now?
Mm-hmm.
The issues that I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
That
You already,
is like currently I'm the only black person that works at my job, and I told Adrian about this, but it's like a certain person treats me like I'm the bottom of the barrel. They treat me like um I don't belong there.
mm.
And it's very disheartening because I always try to figure out like what have I done to you to make you treat me the way that you treat me. But um I was told that, oh, black person working there before, and I just didn't realize it because I was like, I never had been through this type of treatment the way that I'm experiencing it now, but um I try my best just to keep my mouth shut. I've tolerated for so long that I just like maybe it's me, but then I realize it's them.
Aeon, are you in Louisiana
I
by
was
any
told to
chance?
go to HR about the issue, but I've
Mhm.
even tried to go to her boss, and her boss just told me to take it with a grain of salt because that's just how she is.
Aeon, are you in Louisiana by any chance?
I just
she's
think
in
it's very
Texas.
ridiculous.
Can y'all hear me?
She's
Yeah,
in
we can hear
Texas,
you.
Ash.
I
Oh,
think,
in Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
hey, I think Adrian, I think she may need to leave out of the chat and come back because the delay is really, really bad.
Okay. Aeon, just jump off and I'm gonna drop the link again and you grab the link.
No, actually, I'm not at home. I'm actually in Texas. I'm actually like
I'll
30
You might
text
have
minutes
to
you.
put
from
it in the chat.
Austin.
Okay, all right, let me drop back the link. But yeah, I truly appreciate you all joining me on the conversation because I'm an emotional person, so I don't know if I could hold it together for the whole thing by myself. So I appreciate it.
Anytime, Adrian.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me up here, though. I enjoyed the
Mhm.
conversation
Oh,
and
you all bring some good insight.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I wanted to I hope Aeon is still in the chat or can hear because I actually just dealt with a situation just like that. Like I was the only black girl working at my job and I was dealing with a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism. And I worked at a bank and it was coming from not only the people I was working with, but the people that were coming in to do business at the bank and everything. So I can definitely relate to what she was saying about like being the only black girl. Oh, you back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool, cool. But I wanted to tell you that like the experience you had, like the racial experience you had at work being the only black girl there, I just literally left my job because of that reason. You know, the racial discrimination and everything. It got like I'm
Hmm.
pregnant right now, and it got so bad to where they were upset with me for going to my doctor's appointments or making doctor's appointments, you know, and they were just picking about everything, like everything. Um,
Oh my gosh. You think that, okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you. All right, so I didn't realize the issues that I was going to start having. When I first got hired, you know how a lot of times on job posters, they always tell you, oh, you must have reliable transportation.
uh-huh.
Well, currently, right now, I'm trying to save up for a car. So I usually catch Uber or Lyft to work. So when I had my interview and everything, I pretty much, I made it early and everything, and they hired me within a day. So I started off part time. Like I'm working at a credit union. I'm a bank teller. So um within the first week, I guess they must have found out, oh well, guess what? Aeon doesn't have a car, so let's just go ahead and just tell her, I'm sorry, but um you can't they're like, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to open because you don't have a car, so you're going to close all the time. And I guess it was because the head teller, me and her, she's really the main issue that I have. Um, so I felt like I was being singled out right then and there. Then I end up getting singled out for, oh, well, when are you going to get your driver's license? Or when are you going to get a car? Because, you have to have a car. We never had a person who never had a car working here. So
Mhm.
I felt pretty bad. And then um
You're breaking
the
up,
time when they was
Aeon.
started training me, it was like I felt like they wasn't training me correctly because I noticed that every time they hired a white teller,
Hey, young, you're breaking up, baby. We can't really hear
they
you.
Aeon, are you using your phone or Wi-Fi? You want to restart the internet and then jump back on?
whenever they were training me, whenever I would make a mistake, they would always scold me or tell me, well, you know, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. preference do it way.
Oh,
I'm
she
sorry
got that.
that she's having a hard time.
Hmm.
Yeah, she had a bad connection. I kept hearing it going in and out. So hopefully she'll jump back in. Can you drop the link again, Adrian?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any more questions about like gender roles or anything like that? 'Cause we got way off topic.
Yeah, we sure did. Completely.
Yeah, we did.
I guess it just became freestyle Saturday, I guess.
It's whatever. You know how I run the lives. I just it's whatever. So go ahead.
Yeah. But Mukbang, was it you that was talking about the racism that you had to endure in a workplace?
No, that's Ashley telling you about that.
Oh,
Ashley is
Yeah.
telling.
Ashley, was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, they pick on me just about everything, and I notice every time they hire a white teller, they seem to train that person differently than me. And there was like another person from Bangladesh, and I noticed that me and her was going through the same treatment, but I was the one that got it the worst. Um, uh, the head teller at my job, she's Latina, but sometimes I think she's going through identity crisis because for some reason she treats
Aeon,
everybody else differently than the way she treats me.
Aeon.
Mm.
What's up?
I appreciate your story, but I don't like to talk about race itself. So you can just tell the story without like singling out who the persons are from what ethnicity. But that's just me personally.
Mhm. Hey, no problem, brother.
Yeah.
No problem. But I just think it's just very, it just doesn't feel right, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can
I,
relate. I've had that experience too. And I've had it to where even when the members, because I worked at a credit union also, like the members will come in, some will speak to me, some won't. I would say good morning.
mm-hmm.
They'll walk right by me like they didn't hear me, but speak to everybody else. And what spoke volumes about my job was I mentioned that to my supervisor and they didn't do anything about it. So that lets me know that you guys are okay with this type of behavior. I mean, you just have to realize like that it just wasn't the place for me. It just got way too stressful. And I'm not gonna get into everything that I went through there, but if you're still there and it's stressing you out and making you feel that type of way, I really feel like you should start looking for another job because the thing about jobs is you can't get another you can't get another mental. They can hire somebody else though. So you gotta take care of your mental
Mm-hmm.
space. Don't let them tear you down. Don't let them tear you down. Just for
Yeah,
$2.
and I wanted to say also that, eventually when you can, maybe,
Good night, Ginger Snap.
if it's really bothering you like that, you could try looking for other employment. I know it's easier said than done, but instead of just letting it continue to bother you, but like if you can rise above it, that's one thing, but it sounds like it's really an issue. So,
Mm.
at some point
Mm-hmm.
you'll have to make a decision for yourself and what you want to do, and if you can seek other employment, I
Then
would just
done. Yeah.
encourage you to do, to do that. Um, but that's an experience
Mm-hmm.
that you had, and of course that doesn't define every experience with all races and things like that, but I think we all experience that kind of discrimination and stuff like that at jobs and just in life in general. But when you're on this type of platform, you really have to be careful with how you speak on things and how you word them, because you don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
And so I guess, I know that's why Adrian was saying, he doesn't want to talk on race and things like that, but still share your story, but it's just the way that you share it. But
Yeah.
if that is another part of everything that you're already going through, just really sit and think like, okay, I'm going to have to make a decision here. Am I going to keep going here and keep feeling discriminated against? And then now this is another story that I'm telling, something else that's bringing me down, or am I going to be proactive and stand up and take the necessary steps to do something different? And that would be finding a job, because most of the time, the thing about situations like that, the people they're not going to change. They're going to be who they are. You
Right.
know, she gone again. But yeah, I was
I
just
think
a
she
yak.
probably fell off.
I was just a yakking away. Look, and like always, I'm doing 100 other things.
Yeah. I'm
So I
mostly on mute
wasn't
because my
exactly
dad is
looking for
loud
it.
talking on his phone. So
Yeah, but you know how the life of the live is. It literally comes alive, and any
It
topic
does.
can be touched upon, because you started off talking about gender roles. But
Right.
again, shout out to her for sharing her truth and her story, and you know
yeah,
and I
definitely.
do hope that she has a little bit more strength, um to be able to face what she's up against.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
definitely, my prayer for her, just have a little bit more strength, because these panels and stuff like that, it's we're not just an avatar behind the screen. Like, these, we are real people, and you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
never know where your help will come from. So I definitely appreciate you all.
Yeah, we appreciate
Same
you,
here.
everybody.
And thank you, Adrian, again for, allowing me to come on and speak on your platform and give my point of view. I appreciate it.
Yep. You all always give good advice, and I know I can't do this all by myself. We need everybody.
You can. You've been doing a great job.
No,
You've
I
been
don't
doing a
mean it
great
like
job.
that. I feel like, the conversation flow a lot better when we have so many different opinions. And, um, I could be saying this today and they'll be like, all right, I receive it. But then when you hear more people say it, then it becomes more of a reality and more something that you will start to believe it. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
I agree.
So what's your
Um,
thoughts on gender roles, banging things? Because I don't know if she's coming back on.
um, in what way are we talking about? Just in society, or at work, or in the home?
I mean, just society on a whole. Aeon is back.
Um, well, I believe that they exist. Um, I was recently talking to somebody about that, about how at my you okay? Oh,
Hmm.
okay. She muted out. Well, I was just recently talking to somebody about that, like in jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
If you can have a woman and a man in the same position, and the man is making more money than the woman,
Hmm.
even though she may be better educated, better skilled at the job, but she'll come in and make more money. I mean, he'll come in and make more money than her. He could be entry level and she could be senior level as far as her skills and education, but because he is a male, he crosses, a threshold that, so I feel like it's very hard, speaking from a woman's perspective, to fight for your rightful place. Um in terms of, men and women and stuff like that. And then now today, so many women have assumed the male roles in their household. You know, it's just the way it is, the way it's, some of us have been forced into that situation, whether it's, single parenting because the father isn't present at home, or is deceased, or whatever the case may be. So we often have to take on that male role. Um, and it can get really touchy, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be a man. I don't want to act like a man. I can only be a woman. That's the only perspective I use. But I know I do fill two roles in my home. I know that. And earlier, like we were saying about the boys being taught from children, that crying is weak and you shouldn't cry and all that. It makes you weak and it doesn't show strength. I've seen people actually whoop their boys down to the ground for crying. I've seen that. And that just always affected me because I would never do that. You know, I've seen people tell certain men, "You're a mama's boy," as if that's a bad thing. It's really not. That's just the narrative that we have taught ourselves. I would much rather have a man in my life who loves and cherishes his mother than one who can't stand her. Because everything about the way he treats his mom, to me, shows me how he will treat and interact with me. Not all the time, but almost all the time. So, you know, do these roles exist? They do.
Yeah.
You just have to know who you are and you have to know your place in society, in your household, different things like that. So, but is it a thing? It is. And then also, like I said, we have to work twice as hard. Not only am I a woman, but I'm also an African American woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I never let those things stop me or define me.
Mm-hmm.
I never let those things stop me or define me. And I'm like, at some point, they're gonna know and see my worth. And
Yep.
if it's on a job, and I'm not appreciated, I'm not being utilized to my fullest potential because somebody's trying to hold me back, I will simply leave and go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, you're
that's my
so right
perspective.
about that. It's like society is I feel like a lot of people live their life based on social media, what is sold to be acceptable versus what's not acceptable. And it's just crazy. And you made a valuable point when you talk about how someone treat their mom. Most likely that's how they'll treat another woman or something. And that's factual because if you look into society and you see those people who have a loving relationship with their family or their mom or stuff like that, normally they'll have love in their heart because they didn't, they have a good relationship. But most broken families, it's like you always have that what do you call it, that trail of heartbreak going through the trails that you walk or you follow.
Hmm. Yeah, somebody told my son that he was a mama's boy. It was actually a girl that he was dating, and I I had to check her. So, and what? He sure is. Next.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think some women, I feel like they when they say that someone is a mama's boy, I feel like they are trying to compete with the parent, like you, especially in Jamaica, you'll have another woman say, you know what, I wouldn't date someone who's close to their mom because now they gonna have to wait until what of the money is left they're gonna get, so it's a form of insecurity when someone says that you're a mama's boy because they're not threatened by the mom. They feel like the mom has more love, the son has more love for the mom than the woman itself.
Yeah,
See,
and why would you be competing with your son's spouse, or why would you be competing with your husband's mom? You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy to me. Or
Mhm.
whatever type of relationship it is, like a mom and a son, they're gonna have what they have, and you're
Mhm.
gonna have. Now, I know some people can be completely overbearing. That's a whole different situation.
Mhm.
I'm just talking about in a normal circumstance. People have to be taught that it's okay. It's like I said, the narrative change. It's like the story that we keep telling. It's this negative connotation behind the term mama's boy, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
That's all about somebody's perspective of that and their perception and the way that they see it. But I've just never looked at it like that. And, you know, I have one son, three daughters. But yeah, even my daughters have said that to my, you know, about my son. He's a mama's boy,
Mhm.
whatever. 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 Like I said, I would much rather have the mama's boy as my mate than to
Mhm.
have a relationship with a man who does not respect his mother or care for
Amen.
his mother or disrespect. I will not tolerate a man who disrespects his mother.
Right.
Never. And I've seen that. And I'm just like, like, no, 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 no. No, you got me messed up because that's how you treat your mother. Mm-mm. So yeah, that would just cease it all for me, you know.
Yeah.
But and then you do have some males that have to assume the role of um you know the mother and the dad. Like they may be we have a lot of single dads.
Mhm.
We have a lot of single fathers too, for the same reasons. Mom is just not present or mom is deceased, different things like that. So you just have to take on that role of being both. But it
Mhm.
still doesn't take away the fact that if you're a man, you're a man, you're a woman, you're a woman.
Mhm.
But I feel like all these roles and stuff, it's just stuff that society has placed on us.
Mhm.
And we just go along with it.
Yep.
We are influenced. We live in a age where the whole social media thing, like they have the term social media influencer.
Mhm.
That is such that is I ain't never seen nothing so spot on. Influencer. This is a
Mhm.
person who influences my thoughts, influences the way that I dress, influences the car that I drive, influences the places that I hang, all that, and they pay them to be that.
Mhm.
But it's just an image.
It is.
Because at the end of the day, they still go to the bathroom, pull down their pants, and sit on the toilet just like you and I.
Mhm.
But it's all about these images that we create. I
Mhm.
mean, even if you look on YouTube right now, which I've seen a lot of, and I've seen a lot of changes, like on the back end, like they're just trying to slide something up under the rug on us.
Mhm.
It's so many celebrities with YouTube channels now where they're just sitting down doing mukbangs.
Mhm.
Have you noticed that?
I've seen it, but
Yes.
you talk about social media influencers. It's like they have contracts to portray a certain image, but a lot of times when you talk them off the rails, then they really don't agree with a lot of things. But because they're contractually agreeing to do these things, they do it. But a lot of times it's not really in their whole, what they stand for, but it's money attached, so they do whatever they got to do to get that dollar.
Right. Yeah. So, everything is about how you can, you know, make a dollar and what you can show and what you can portray and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not no celebrity. I'm just D. So, you're going to push me down so you can push this person up that don't even really have a passion for this. But
Yep.
Right.
it's like whatever, you got to stay afloat. But it's all about these images and these perceptions that we see and the things, once again, that society places on us. So speaking in terms of gender roles, I know that they do exist, but again, I believe that most of it is based on what society has
Hmm.
told us about it.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Ash, you can speak. I just been running my mouth.
Oh no, I was just saying I agree with what you're saying because I mean it is like society does put gender roles on everybody, you know, and social media has a lot to do with it because whatever people see on social media these days, they believe that's real life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They like the Beyoncés and the Kim Kardashians, they people too. You know, they have problems in their household too, but people think that once you get to a certain level in the world on social media or fame or whatever, that it makes you superior and not have to deal with these things. But social media definitely has a huge influence on gender roles. And if I was to get on social media today, this isn't my life, but if I was to get on social media today and say my man don't got no job, no car, he would get bashed on social media for not having those things. You know what I'm saying? But it's like nobody really cares what happened. How did he get to that point, or what is he doing to fix it? It's just like social media is so quick to judge. And that's one reason why I really don't like putting my business on social media. And if I do, it's just something for my channel. It's really not something like I'm posting stuff about myself, because I try to keep as much of my personal life sacred and close to me, because even with us being content creators, y'all know we have to be mindful of what we put in our videos, how we say it, because you say the wrong thing, is out there for the universe.
Absolutely.
So like you have to be tactful in everything. And it's just like, because social media does not care. They are vultures and they will latch onto anything, especially when it comes to gender roles. They expect you to be this, they expect you to be that. And that's why I just simply made mine Ashley's Couch, because what you see is what you get. If you don't like it, you can do what you need to do. But as far as me and my couch, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And y'all gonna get me nappy hair, no makeup, t-shirt, whatever I feel like, you know. So you just got to be true to who you are and not worry about what anybody else may say. That's the biggest thing.
So I agree with you not sharing too much on social media, but what's your thought about someone who will make a post and they're like, I need prayers right now, but don't ask me why I need prayers.
You need prayers?
Prayers. I speak that. I'm
prayers. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, because I mean, if somebody share on social media that they need prayers, sometimes people are just going through a hard time. They don't want to explain themselves. They just want some support and to know that somebody's praying for them. So I don't have a problem with that. But I also kind of feel if you need prayers or something like that on social media and you put something like that, you got to know that somebody's going to ask. You know what I'm saying? So it's really kind of rude to be like, don't ask. Because if people ask, all you have to do is say, I'm really not up for sharing right now, but thank you so much for caring or something. But just to put, I need prayers, but don't ask why. It's about how you say it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, all you got to do is really put, pray for me. I'm going through a lot right now. And leave it at that. And people will take that. But don't put, pray for me. Don't ask me about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about how you word it, I think, personally. What you think, Mark?
I don't for me, I don't need to know what your reason is for needing prayer. If you ask me to pray for you, I will. I do like to be specific in my prayer to God. I do like to be specific in what I'm asking him for. But if you don't tell me, I don't have a problem with that, because even if I don't know, God already know what it is you need prayer for.
That's true.
So, for me, that's okay. And I think that's still probably the person trying to keep a level of privacy.
Right.
Because everything isn't for everybody. And sometimes, especially when you put stuff out on social media, people will take your hurts and try to use them against you. People will try to take what you're going through and try to use that against you. So I don't have a problem with it. Even being as transparent as I am a very private person. Like most of the people who know me, they cannot believe I have a YouTube channel, because it's people who see me every day and don't know how I'm moving. I've always been like that my whole life. I'm just not the person that's going to tell you every step I'm making, everything that happens in my life, every, oh, this happened, that happened, that, guess what, this, that. I just don't move like that. And, and as far as putting stuff on social media, I don't move like that either. That's just for me. But for some people, I realize that is their outlet. That is their outlet. But sometimes it can be too much. And I just be wanting to be like, get a journal, honey, get a journal. If you can't actively go in prayer to God, right, have a prayer journal. because when people hear stuff, they gonna take it and run with it. Everybody don't have your same heart or your same level of privacy or your same level of empathy. Some people simply don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about using things against you. It could be your father dying of cancer. They don't care. They will use that against you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't rock like that, but it's some people that just don't have that factor in them that makes them care. They don't have an empathetic bone in their body, so you have to be mindful of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't bother me when, or if somebody says, I don't want to say why, but can I ask for prayer? I
Mm-hmm.
immediately go into prayer for that person. And I say, God, I don't know the why, but you know. And I'm just trusting you and asking you, to bless this person in their situation, to be with them while they're going through this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand.
Well, maybe it's the Jamaican in me where I'm like, they have a saying, they say you open a can of worms. It's like you come out here, you tell me you need prayers. If you were bold enough to tell me you need prayers, then you should be like, all right, please pray for me. I'm going through a personal situation. And that's okay, because then I don't need to ask you, said it's a personal situation. When people come on and they just put it out there and they're like, please pray for me, but please don't ask me why. I'm like, why do you even put it out there then? Go to
Yeah.
the people that you're willing to tell what's going on and tell them to pray for you.
Yeah,
But,
that second part is a kind of turn off, because it's like, okay, you could have just put please send prayers, or something simple, but putting it don't ask me why can kind of make it seem like, well, don't worry about it.
yeah.
But I mean, it's always, you have to be able to understand some people when they do that, sometimes they like attention, because I know somebody like that also who does that for attention. But I mean, just pray for them anyway, and just give them your prayer, because you never really know how serious it could be. Maybe they not maybe they asking because maybe they gotten too many questions from it in the first place, or maybe they're asking because it's something very personal and they just don't want to share. But you have to be able to respect people's personal space and be like, if you're telling me not to ask, then I have to be able to say okay. And I can respect that, because not everything is meant for everybody to know. So
I know some people do stuff like that for attention, and I
mm,
just shake I just shake my head and pray for them anyway, because you know
Sorry about that. I'll be back in just a minute. All right.
it's
okay.
okay, Adrian. It's okay. Um, yeah, I know some people are do stuff like that for attention, but I just I just pray for them anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
I do like to be specific in my prayer. Like my stepmom is an evangelist, and she is a prayer warrior through and through. She is an intercessory prayer. So she will
Mm-hmm.
go to God on anybody's behalf at any moment, any day or hour. And like years ago, I don't really do it anymore, but I would just contact her and say, I need you to pray for me. I used to need to do, I don't want to say what it is, whatnot. And she'd be like, well, I need to be specific in that prayer. So I'm not trying to be up in your business because you're grown, but that's just how I roll. So
Right.
I get that part of it, and I'm like that too. I do like to be specific in my prayer, but everybody is not there. You know, everybody is not there where they want to share everything. But I just don't go out there and just solicit prayers from anybody, because guess what? I don't want them from anybody. That's
Right.
just me. That's
Right.
just me.
Exactly.
Because everybody is not praying for you on your behalf the right way.
That's true.
Mm-mm,
Some
nah.
people will pray on your downfall right when you ask for a prayer.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. They'll tell you, oh, girl, I'm praying for you. Ain't never lifted your name up one time.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Stop doing that. Don't do that to people. Don't tell people you're going to pray for them and you don't.
Right. That's
It's,
how I
it's,
feel.
you're not helping. So, Yeah, when I do that, I'm serious. I don't take that as a joke because I feel like I've already entered the covenant with God on your behalf when I accepted to do that. When I accepted to say, I will pray for you,
Right.
I've already entered into a covenant and I have to make good on that. I can't just be out here just saying stuff like that and I don't do it.
Right.
But, everybody does not think like that. But it's so much, it's so many
I'm
different.
back. Thank you all.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
It's so many variables to that. We never know what place a person is coming from when they ask stuff like that. When they ask, can you pray for me? But I don't think you should be like nasty about it. Like, look, I just need prayers. Don't ask me why. You
Right.
already coming into the situation wrong.
Right.
And some people just don't have the right tone, with stuff. So they blame people for being turned off from them when they the ones that turned the person off the whole time.
Yeah. I
You
can
know?
that.
K Cotton said, I didn't have a clue what was going on in this live when I walked in, but I started praying because it seemed serious and deep and in need of prayer. That's so true, Kay. That's the crazy thing about when you come to my live. It's like I never stay on topic. I always go all over the place. But, that's the cool thing about it. We always just have a whole full-on conversation about different things that just affect us on a whole. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but let's see if we can hold this for another 17 minutes or so, because I'll get off probably at like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think that should be enough.
Oh yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about?
You don't have any more questions or anything like that?
I'm blank now. What can we talk about to close it out for the next 17 minutes?
Did you say you're blank?
Blank.
I can't see that. It seems like you would always have something to say.
That's true. I always have something to say, but it's like when I come on live after about an hour and a half, I feel like I just go blank. I don't know why, because I always feed off the energy off the comment section, but I don't see much going on. So,
well, thank y'all. Shout out to y'all that's still in here.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody for hanging with me. I've tried out StreamYard for the first time, and you all walked me through it, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love
StreamYard. This is
and I
your
know
first time
things always say, "Oh, this is your live," but congratulations again, and just take it and just hug it up and don't say nothing.
Thank you. I don't like spotlights, but
yeah,
thank
I know.
you.
I truly appreciate you messaging me today. And don't you ever think that I judge your support, because I know that you ride for people when you ride for them. Like everybody who we have in this, it's not a circle, but everybody that we rock with, I feel like everybody genuinely look out for each other, and they make sure that they're not colliding in everybody else's schedule. So when I heard you were celebrating, I knew I had to be there. So I was like, I'll just jump on after the mukbang is done. And then I saw Joe live. I jumped over there, and then I was running you on my laptop, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to come live tonight. And then you guys were like, oh, you need to do it. And I'm like, okay. Then I had to jump out. I didn't even tell Joe I was gone. And then Joe messaged me, he's like, where you at? I'm like, I had to jump on live. But I appreciate y'all keeping me grounded and just, supporting me and all that stuff. So I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and that was what I didn't want to do. I didn't want you to not go ahead with your live, because I know you always go live on Saturdays, but at the same time, I didn't want you to think I was being malicious or anything like that, because I would try to support as much as I can, but I knew that was really kind of the only time I had to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to go live, but just giving you as my peer, just giving you the heads up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I would definitely be there, support you otherwise, but I'm going to do the stream. And I mean, you just like, no, I'm going to just come to your stream. I want to be there. So I was like, that's really admirable of you, because a lot of people wouldn't take it that way. They would take it as I'm trying to stab them in the back, or I'm trying to be malicious, or I'm trying to go live at the same time as them. People just think different things and stuff, but I just wanted to give you that respect, and let you know. But when you're on here, it's so many of us, and so many of us going live and trying to get our hours and stuff like that, sometimes your time will overlap with other people and you can't
Absolutely.
feel bad. You can't feel bad about that.
Mhm.
But I just wanted you to know because that was what was in my heart to do. I wish I was like, I wanted to go live earlier, but I couldn't because I was doing stuff,
Mhm.
and I was like, and then I kept getting DMs like, when you going to go live, when you going to go live? And I was like, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and do it because
Yeah.
I'll be next week sometime. 2 weeks from now, trying to celebrate. And they be like, oh, you celebrating monetization? Girl, we forgot about that.
But yeah, the live was so fun. Your aunt was a character though. I
I
was
was
like,
cracking
wow,
up.
She is crazy.
that was a fun live. I truly enjoyed the live, and I was like, now God always lead us in the right direction. So it's always good when we just follow our hearts and let Him lead us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And I
I,
love
I
the fact
actually
that
have another aunt who is she's about to move away. So we was like all together celebrating her,
Yeah.
and I was like, and they was asking like, when you gonna go live, whatever, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and go live or whatever because I couldn't think of another chance that I would have to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm going live tomorrow, but that's a different type of thing. I didn't want to
Yeah.
mix that in with a celebration.
Mhm.
right, right.
But I did that for everybody else just to show my
Yeah.
appreciation, for everyone else because whoo, this thing it can really be something.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah.
You're doing great, you're on the right path and
Thank you. But yeah,
I really
me personally, if you know this about me, you probably have seen because I think you're a good judge of character. But it's like I always sit in the back and pay attention to people. It may be a bad thing, but in my opinion, it's a good thing. So when let's say I go over to Riri's channel. Welcome back, Aeon. And I see you guys in there rocking with Riri for 7 hours. I could never think that you guys have any malicious thoughts because that 7 hours could be something that you guys invest in your family time, invest in
Right.
yourself. People
right,
like those are rare. Like nobody is gonna be out here trying to support someone for 7 hours, jumping on panel, helping, backing
right,
up. Like you guys came here and you're here for me tonight. Because I don't know if I could really hold it together tonight, especially with Aeon's story. I've known a little bit about it, but at the same time, she really poured out her heart, and we appreciate it. And we
she
send in love
did.
to you, Aeon. But when I see this type of support, when I came on YouTube, and I hear everybody say this, they say when we come on YouTube, we didn't expect to meet people that become family and stuff like that. And you'll see people come here and they'll be say, you know what, I can't be active in the chat, but I'm going to run you. People fall asleep with their phone running with you. That's genuine support. And
Yes,
a lot of people who will just sit. People make one mistake and they judge them and say, "Oh, this is a bad person." But that's not me. If someone slipped for once, I'm not gonna be mad at them because we're all humans and we're gonna be making mistakes at some point in time. But some people have these high expectations of people be like, "Oh, they should be at all my lives. Oh, this should be all." I'm like, no. It's just you got to watch people from how they support you. As Zion would say, there's so many ways to support someone. Just by playing their videos on your lives, just by being in their
Right.
chat.
yeah, and I'll often do that. I may not be active in the chat, but I'll just run it when I can't be active in it. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
But I will run it. That is still my way of supporting, and you're getting your time. But if somebody is struggling, and they only have 5 people in their stream, you know, those are the lives that I tend to go into a lot also
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like they may need that support or whatever. I'm not really into the lives too much to have like tons and tons and tons of people because it really make my hair hurt. All them names and stuff moving real fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Right.
that's great, but I have no problem with jumping into a smaller stream, and it can be a lot more intimate as well, and you can learn a lot about people. And it's nothing wrong with sitting in the background and observing. I'm like that too. I'm like that in life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna walk into the room and just immediately start running my mouth. I have to get a feel for it. I have to observe,
Mm-hmm.
and when I feel comfortable, when I feel compelled to to partake in the conversation and stuff like that, then that's what I do. But I'm a very laid back, observant type of person, but most of the people here, I've been, rocking with them in live streams and stuff like that for 6 months now, so we've grown to know certain things about each other, just from being in a live stream or just from supporting each other and stuff like that. So I feel a bit more comfortable, but if it's a new territory that I don't know well and stuff, I'll just sit back. And sometimes even with people that I do know, it just depends on where I am and my energy level at the time. If there's something going on in that stream that I feel like I can't handle, I will watch from afar. I won't say nothing. I will keep it running, but I'll also keep myself moving too.
Yeah.
Because it's a give and take. You have to know when to hold, when to fold, because at the end of the day, when I get off of here, live streams, first of all, can be very draining.
Yes.
It takes a lot out of you. And, and a lot of heavy topics come up that also can take a lot out of you, and then you have to remember to replenish. And sometimes I know I fall short in that. I just keep going, but I haven't replenished. And then that's when you might hear me say, look, I'm cranky today. I ain't had no sleep. I'm just being transparent with telling you that, and most of y'all who have been around me or whatever, y'all know that about me now at this point. Like, okay, y'all know she gotta get some sleep because she cranky now, and I don't want to snap and turn anybody off or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just like, oh my God, at that point, my anxiety is high, and I know but once I get some sleep like I did the other day, and I'm good. Now I'm refueled.
It's funny because that's what I was like. Mukbang says that if she don't get sleep, she's cranky. I'm like, all right, I know. If a lot of times people don't want to admit their faults, so I'm like, if she admit that, I don't want to be around her at that time.
Right.
But yeah, that's another thing we struggle with as society and people is like, we find it hard to admit our faults and our struggles and stuff like that. So
stop. Stop. We gotta stop being so judgmental and looking at people to be this one way, because we all have many sides to us.
Right.
I could be real, headstrong, and I could be, real forceful about certain things, but I do it with love. But I can't. Don't laugh, Adrian. I do it with love.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might say something to you that, might seem a little cutting, but I say it with love.
Not me. You can say whatever you want to say to me. I was joking the other day in Zion's live. I was like, maybe I need to grow another skin, but you all know I just like to.
Oh, I didn't pay that no mind. I know. I know you have thick skin.
Yeah. So.
Please, and sometimes I could be really hard, and I could be also very sensitive. It just depends. So we not just this one layer. There are many layers to us, and sometimes we have a tendency, like you said, to judge people real fast in a hurry, and we got to stop doing that. We got to get away from that, because none of us are perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if it's something about you that just don't sit well with me and you just turn me off, that's a total different thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have people just see someone and then be like, I don't like that person. I'm like, why do you not like that person?
Right.
And you never have a reason.
Yeah. Is it really that deep? Yeah. And I have heard people say that, and I've often felt compelled to ask them why, but I'm like, I don't even want to open that can of worms, because a lot of times the person don't even know why.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know them. All we know is what we see, in a 15, 20, 30-minute video. It's so much more to us than that.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we learn more when we have these 2-hour live streams, or these hour or three, well, in Riri's case, 10, 15,000 hours.
Yes.
We can still learn more, but that's still not all. There's still more than meets the eye. It's still more to us,
Yeah.
But I can see the love, and I can see the passion, of when you're cooking your food, but even more so than that, it's a gift.
Thank you.
It's a gift. So I can see your gift in that, and that's great that you share that with people. It's great that you share your gift in your videos, because that's what it is. Like for me, it's a love and it's a passion, but I also know that it's a gift because sometimes I just be sitting there, or I might just be laying in bed and I'd be like, oh, I should make this. I
Mm-hmm.
should make that. And it's not a recipe that I've seen anywhere, anything. It just comes to me. So I know, that that's God, spilling into my gift,
Mm-hmm.
planting into the gift that He has
That's
given me.
right.
And
That's
then I
that's
have
the
to
same
just
thing with
show it.
me too. Because today I made a recipe that I'm going to drop on Wednesday, and it wasn't something that I have made before. Like I went to the store maybe at least 2 months ago, and I saw they had closed out on this can of green chili enchilada sauce, and I bought it. And I was like, all right, let me look on the back of the can and probably make some enchilada. And then I was like, I had the can there, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And then today I just opened it, throw it in the blender, spice it up, and then I made stew pork with that sauce. Plus, I made carrot rice with coconut milk, which I've never made. So it's like me and you can relate to those stuff. When I watch your video, I see a lot about myself in your videos, and you've seen a lot about. So yeah, we connect on that level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've said that before too about the just even down to like the seasonings and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like me, I'm scared to do vegan. I'm like, I don't think I'll find it tasty. But when I come over to your channel and I watch those vegan recipes, now I'm like, I want to have vegan. But then I mess with you. I'm like, how are you gonna make vegan steak? Is it gonna taste like the chicken? Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But thank you also, Ashley, for hanging in here too.
Oh yeah.
Always. I know I'm always here. And that's one thing I want to say. Like, I appreciate everybody who supports my channel, but I truly, truly, truly take my hats off to content creators who support my channel because it is so much that goes into creating content, posting it, editing, thumbnails, everything for these videos. And for y'all to take time out from whatever y'all doing to come and watch my videos, comment on my videos, checking in with my lives. It's like I know y'all have 1,000 other things y'all could be doing for y'all self, but and it's not just like the everyday going to work, coming home.
Mm-hmm.
Doing YouTube is like a whole different job. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like anytime I have a content creator who does come and support my channel, I'm always like so thankful because it's like, dang, I know this person is probably busy. This person probably got to edit. This person is probably trying to film in the next hour, but this person felt in their heart to come and support me on my channel or share me out or just come in and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? And the support that we have within our whole circle, like all of us here, it's like it's something that you don't see on YouTube every day,
Mm-hmm.
because I can go, it's like on YouTube, like the big YouTubers, they're
Mm-hmm.
all for their sales, you know what I'm saying? And they don't really have a genuine clique of people who they really like just connect with and support genuinely. Like even if they do have a clique of people that they're with, there's always something shady going on. Like with us, it's just like we just always there supporting each other. Like you said, Adrian, Riri lives be like 7, 8, 10, 24 hours. We be there. I fell asleep on Riri plenty of times. Even on the panel, I fell asleep. I be there.
Yeah, and say if your couch is still available, she needs to sit down.
Come sit down, child. Come have you a seat.
And I also think for like the bigger content creators, I think they have a different level of um, the intimacy and things like that we share as growing channels.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have 100 different people pulling on them and they don't know their real intention.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's like, I don't want to use Be Love an example, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like for her, this is just she is a business.
Mm-hmm.
She has a whole brand. She is marketable. She has built and she can't just come and hang out with everybody because, and she has done that though. I have seen her do that, but at the same time, it's people who they like, oh, I love her so much and this, that, and the third, or they, maybe dropping her DMs and stuff like that. But she had a video where she was like, people dropping in her DMs with mess and drama. She don't have time for that.
Right.
She don't have time for that. That lady is busy. And that goes back to what I'm saying about your energy. People will drain your energy.
Yeah.
She says, I can't, and I so got that. I so got when she said, I can't get caught up in that because my energy will be messed up and I'm shaking hands with people all day. And now I'm messed up because of something that I read in the DM. And when I meet this person, my energy is off. And people can affect you like that. You know what I'm saying? It's I call it energy suckers. They will suck your energy. So I think it's difficult for bigger YouTubers to have, they probably have a certain group of people or whatever that they rock with, very small, but it's hard for them to know people's true intentions because most people, unfortunately, they just want to rock with them so they can get on.
That's true. Because especially like us as growing content creators, as you said, it's like we're going to get there someday. It might take 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but we're going to get there at some point in time. And I feel like we're going to be the same way. Everybody who have been rocking with us, meanwhile we're growing, then those are the people that we're genuinely going to be like, all right, they're for my best interest because we've seen it. But those new people coming up, then we'll be like, what is their intention? So yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know. You have to be really careful. So yeah, I don't want to do no whole support thing. That, like you said, that's taking a lot of time out of my life where I could be doing stuff, and I got a full, whole busy life. If I'm there, I'm there because I truly support, and rock with you and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm not trying to get you to shout me out. I'm not trying to get you to plug me so I can get more. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between networking, the right way and just, I guess, clout chasing it's called or whatever.
So true.
But yeah, y'all just, y'all keep doing y'all thing. We are all growing channels. I don't like to say small and stuff like that, because I just feel like we're growing every day, and even if it seems like your numbers are not moving, just keep going. It will get, it will get there. You never know what that thing is that you share or what you do and who it connects with and takes off, but you have to know why you're here, why you came to do this, but you can't let things like the numbers not growing or this or that discourage you. I get tons of DMs from people that tell me that they get discouraged and stuff like that. And I just try to pour into them, like people have poured into me, to keep going and don't stop. No matter what it looks like, keep going and don't stop because it's going to look real crazy sometimes. It's going to look real crazy when you took all of your time and you're completely depleted of energy and you made this video and just a few people watched the video. That can be very discouraging, but just keep going. And then we want YouTube to recommend our videos, but it's like other creators coming on every day, so it's overclouded, oversaturated, but you just have to keep going because the minute that you stop, it just pushes you down even further. If that makes sense.
So true.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I see, Adrian, you have met your mark.
Yeah, I think Joe is still live, so whoever want to go over there, they can. I'm gonna end the stream, and I appreciate everyone for joining me. And thank you, Ash. Thank you, Mukbang.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody in the chat who keep it lively. Jill is gone. All of you moderators who held it down for me, welcoming everybody, because I can't do it by myself. So I want to say I appreciate you all and thank you all for a great live. And Aeon, thank you so much. I'll be texting you. So you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in a few. But as I said, Joy's still live. So whoever want to hit it up can.
Do you want me to drop
the
his link?
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah, because
Good
I
night,
got him
y'all.
on my thing.
Good night, Ash.
Good
And
night,
Shane,
Ashley.
thank you. I know you ain't feeling that well, and you still made the time to come up here. So I
Of
truly
course,
appreciate it.
I'm feeling a little bit better, but I couldn't miss this topic. This is a good topic. This is
Thank
a
you.
really good live.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Ashley. Take care of that baby.
I will. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, so Mukbang and Things just dropped the link for Joe. We're going to head over there, whoever can make it. And I'll see you guys in a few. Thank you, Creative. Good night, y'all.